You're watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to the second half of the Factor Uncensored. We're still trying to undo racist laws written before we got here. A new one in Texas is directly affecting current and future homeowners. It allows neighborhoods to now scratch out a restriction in their deeds that once blocked Black people or people of color from moving into certain areas. My guests share their thoughts.
Can you believe it, Miss Guillory? In 2022, now they're finally saying, yeah, you can take this off, that forbid or block Black people from moving into certain neighborhoods. Now, many people have long ignored it, but just to think that it still has been on the books.
You know, for people who always say that Black folks are sensitive about race and we always make it about race, no, we don't. It's stuff like this that's still on the books in 2022 that brings this stuff to light, and we've got to get rid of it. So no, I'm not surprised it's in there at all. What I'm surprised about is how hard it was to get rid of the language once it's discovered and you want it out of there. That's the surprise.
Yeah, and Chad, bring if you can chime into this as well. You know, you're just getting lawmakers who are putting it on the books now where you can block it out, get it out of your deed restrictions. We're just getting to this. Why?
Well, it just tells you what the intent was all along. And the intent was to make it extremely difficult. And of course, the laws changed in 1968 in regards to fair housing. But I've had many subdivisions that I've reviewed deed restrictions, and most of them are in the older subdivisions where I reviewed them, and they had things like this in it, these types of quotes and thoughts. I feel that the intent was to keep it in there and make it extremely hard. And I'll give you an example. Representative Wu tried to get it removed in 2019, and he had no success in it and getting it removed. And why is it so hard that you just go down there and block it out on all your deed restrictions? All you do is pull it up, block it out, and move forward. I just think people, we've gone a long way, Isaiah, but we haven't gone far enough. And everybody's jumping up. This is a victory. We've gotten this done. This is a big victory, but really is really not a victory. It should have been over a long time ago.
And Eric, this has been found in deed restrictions around hundreds, possibly thousands of neighborhoods in Texas.
Yes, it has. So what's important here is in about 1926, the Supreme Court found that there could use these racial restrictive covenants, which are really despicable. It applies generally to African Americans, Asians, and the Jewish community. There was a case that happened in 1948, Shelley versus Kramer, that outlawed it. And then later on, 1968, about 20 years later, there was finally a law that was passed through the Housing Rights Act that prevented this. This is just embarrassing. And I'm an officer of the court, and working in the judicial branch, I'm constantly embarrassed with our American system. What we're seeing here is basically our legislative branch, really just politics in general, we're so divisive. We're more concerned about fighting on these little bitty nonsensical issues than we are at doing something positive, or at least getting rid of this injustice. I'm embarrassed about it. Looking at a deed restriction in Oak Forest, I'm embarrassed that it says this. I really am. It's 2022. This should have been gone in the 70s, at least the 80s.
And Miss, hearing Eric say that, do you think at the root of it now, refusal to take action until now is all about politics?
Some of it could be politics, and some of it just could be personal upbringing. I started to do a little independent research just in preparation for today, and some of the research will show that the boomer generation is happy with its HOA. And so we've got people in older neighborhoods like Oak Forest who are happy with the documents and don't want to change things. And so requiring those signatures from a majority of homeowners to get language change, well, yeah, it's like pulling teeth, or you know what I'm saying? It's difficult. But then you'll find younger generations of buyers not as many of them are happy with HOAs, and it's becoming more widespread. People say, I don't want to move into a community that even has one. I don't even want to move into one. So it's just, it's political. Some of it's just personal.
And Shad, when we take a look at this system and the process, were many HOAs behind this, or the individuals who moved into these neighborhoods and bought these houses back then? Give us a historical picture and perspective there.
It started with the development, and a lot of it started with the federal government. When the federal government put funds in to develop some of these neighborhoods, the federal government told these developers and builders that you could not sell to African Americans, Asians, and Hispanics. And so it started there. And
so with the United States government saying that.
Right, that's where it all started.
Wow.
And then when it was ruled that it was against the law back in the early 1900s, well, the developers come up with this thing. It's like a country club. We can determine who's going to live in our neighborhood. And so it goes deep. All this racism, when it comes to housing, all started with the federal government. They laid out the law and told builders and developers, if you sell your house to a minority, we will not insure it, and will not give you the money to help develop the subdivision. So this deeply rooted. And if you really think about it, we're thinking about what we're talking about now, but some bank, a mortgage company the other day just got fined $23 million for redlining. Who's redlining in today's world? That just shows you how far we've come.
And for those who don't know the definition of redlining, Eric Dick, so you can weigh in here. Tell us about what redlining is.
Okay, so this happened in pretty much every county, city, where they'd have certain areas designated for certain, races, and that's kind of it's very screwy, and it's sad, and that's just I'd hope we'd do much better than that as a society. I find all this stuff very embarrassing that our country is doing this.
Glad there is a change underway.